So I had to bring this up because I'm very curious of how they're going to tackle this. Because, I spoke on how, in the recent movie, they they did everything they could to make it seem like Peter and Gwen never dated. Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way. I have no problem with being corrected. But, again, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm going to go all in on this. In the movie, spoilers, by the way, in the movie, Spider Gwen says that in other universes, Gwen falls for Spider Man. Again, instead of just saying Peter Parker, and in other universes, it doesn't go so well. And, I always, that was my biggest problem with that line. They want to do everything they can to, ship her and Miles when, again, in the comics, it was forced and it was very short lived because, at the time, only comic readers actually knew about this and they were not going for it, which is why it was short lived. And, you know, nobody liked that. And here we are. They're trying to say Spider Man. They're trying to, just say Spider Man instead of saying Peter Parker because this is a movie where, the OG is sidelined and you have multiple Spider Man. And when she said Spider Man, you just think to yourself, like, oh, wow, I wonder who she's talking about. She can't be talking about Peter Parker because that's the only character she actually falls for in most of these universes, if not all. And here we are with this movie. In the next movie, they said that there's going to be multiple versions of Gwen Stacy. So most likely, I spoke on how they always like to pull unnecessary scenes just so they can force emotional, aspects and all that. I bet money they're going to throw her death in there. I bet money they will do that. And again, like I always have problem with, the washed up Peter Parker being 616 Peter Parker because that is supposed to be the mainstream Peter Parker. And oh my god, it's when you get more in depth with all this, that's when you want to rip your brain out because and into the Spider Verse, you know, Peter is up here he's going crazy for MJ, and throughout the entire movie, he did not seem to even know who Gwen was. So by that, by itself, you can only assume that Gwen Stacy is not in that universe. This is 616, by the way. You can only assume that Gwen Stacy is not in that universe. And so here you are. Um, they're trying to, oh my God, they're trying to mention that she did have romantic feelings for Spider Man. But again, instead of saying Spider Man, instead of saying Peter Parker, they say Spider Man. And like, I'm just so confused. Like, how is this going to work? Because the whole point of Gwen Stacy, the character, the foundation of the character itself, the whole point of her even existing was to be a romantic, the love interest for Peter Parker. And as I said, they're trying to flip it around so it can ship her and Miles being together. And also, on top of the fact that Peter Parker is in his 40s, most likely, and well, probably still in his late 30s, but whether this is the same shit. But he's in his 40s, and he settled down with MJ. Again, may I remind you that into the Spider-Verse, he seems to not know who Gwen is. Like, I'm so confused at how this whole thing is going to work. So, is it, you know what? Considering that they got characters like Ben Rowley, who is a clone of Peter Parker, they instead of just, him coming from the same universe. Like this Spider-Verse shit is a mess, as you can see. Instead of just, again, this being 616 Peter Parker, instead of just getting him from that universe, they get Ben Riley from another universe, and like that's just their explanation for everything. Instead of just getting these characters from the universe that they originate from, they just instead just make up a whole nother universe. So like, so my problem is like, what's the point of making the washed up Peter Parker 616 if he's not going to be actual 616? Like, and this is why I mean, like this, when you actually try to figure out, I mean, when you actually know your shit and try to get everything together, that's when it feels like your brain is going to explode. And that's what I mean by that. And, as I said, instead of just getting Ben Riley from that universe, they get him from another universe and they throw him in there. And again, like a lot of the other versions of Spider-Man came from that same universe, but instead they come from different universes in the movie. And you know, I'm expecting I'm expecting 616 Gwen Stacy to not even be included in that, despite that being her original universe. That's a problem to me. They're just having a free for all with these characters at this point, because like it it aches my soul that, you know again, people always want to come after the Snyderverse, saying that, oh my God, they destroyed Batman. He's nothing like this. This is not following the comics. And then when you come back to the Spider-Verse movie that's literally destroying these characters, and people say nothing about this, it irks me a lot. And as I said, I don't I don't know what they're going to do with this character, but if there's anything that they're going to do, I bet money that they're going to throw her death scene in there. I bet money it's going to happen. They're going to try to bank off all of that. I know all their moves, bro. Like, again, I called out unnecessary scenes, and I called it when her dad pulled up on her with that gun trying to arrest her. I was like, she's going to take off her mask to show her dad as her, all for an emotional scene, which you can see coming a mile away with this shitty writing. Like, it's ridiculous, bro. Spider-Man takes down monsters for breakfast. But never mind. But yeah, this is my stance on this. That's where they're going to go with this. Like, again, I'm calling it they're going to throw a death scene in there. But besides that, I don't know what they're going to do with the other versions, because she's supposed to. You know what? Fuck it. Never mind. They're just going to throw something in there as usual. Here we go.